Hello, 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 and welcome to Survivor Debrief. My name's Eden Porter, the unlucky loser from Survivor Titans vs. Rebels, and with me as always, well, not always, but with me in this particular episode is my comedic partner and real-life brother, Josh. Welcome back to Survivor Debrief. We missed you.
Well, not everyone missed. Noonan didn't miss me. I heard that. Josh who? I heard that.
She said, I believe she said, the only loser in this situation is Josh for not being here.
Yeah,
So
I copped it.
No.
But it is lovely to be back. I had a nice holiday away. Shame to miss the finale, but I think you guys did a great job breaking it down. So I very much enjoyed being on the other side of the Survivor Debrief fence. It was very interesting.
Yeah, Noonan, shout out to Noons. Great job. Filled in for you in every way possible, Josh. But it's good to have you back. And we thought, why not celebrate 2026? We've had our Christmas fun. New Year's is in the rear view mirror. But we thought, let's just have one last little bonus ep just to catch up, get your final thoughts on the show, and maybe answer some questions that have been coming in throughout the season. And then have a chat about that big, old, exciting thing happening this year. And that's, of course, Survivor 50.
The real Christmas.
Yeah, the Jeff Christmas. Unky Jeff is going to come in and give us all a big present.
Yeah, right, sure.
But Josh, let's just have a chat now, just about 49. Obviously, you've heard a lot of my thoughts and Noonan's thoughts. But yeah, if you just wanted to do, we'd love to. I know that the listeners are desperate for the Josh Porter thoughts.
Sure.
They're clamoring. So what was your thoughts?
What does the guy who's been on Survivor think? And what does his brother think?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
No, it was cool. It was interesting. I think off the bat, I was just blown away that Christina didn't get through. I could not fathom that she was not a great goat to take through. But one interesting point you guys made that I never really caught on is that it does, if you're really worried about her, you may be worried about going out in fire against her. And so for that self-preservate, which is a weird thing because then you're almost not playing to win, you're just playing to get to the end. You know what I mean? Like,
well, but in the case of like, if you come down to it and you're like, I've done everything I can do to get this far in the game, but I still have to get to fire. I have to get through fire. And if there's one person that's good at fire, and by the way, who saw that coming? That
so
she would
strange.
become this fire juggernaut at the end of the game, and then everyone's like, oh, well, we need to get rid of her. And so it was this really weird dichotomy between, do you take her to the end and beat her, or do you go to fire with her?
Yeah, I just couldn't believe that she got through. I was like dead sure that she was going to get through, and then it kind of very matter-of-factly, everyone's like, no, we're going to get rid of Christine. I was like,
and you're like, what?
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I think you guys made a really interesting point about Rizzo kind of backing down on that relatively easily, which is interesting. Like, I feel like, it felt like a bit of a stumble for him towards the end. So very surprised to see Christina go. Rizzo, I think... it's almost like it just.
Did he do everything?
Did
he do everything he could have done to?
Well, when you get to making fight, unless pushing for not Sage, right? I don't know how that changes Sophie's choice, right? Like, I think it was cool of Sophie to put them in together. I think that was really interesting. But yeah, I think Rizzo, I think he'd played really well, but I think maybe he just didn't quite nail his pathway to the end, and it did leave that up to chance. But I don't know because. Yeah, he seemed to be in a pretty good spot. But as you spoke about, like, I don't know between him and Savannah if they both got through. I feel that he almost had a more compelling story because I feel I kind of remember him working people over a bit more and getting things changed a bit more.
But that's true. But in the classic situation of perception is reality, if the entire game everyone has been saying, we've got to get rid of Savannah, we've got to get rid of Savannah, it doesn't matter what happens. If you get to the end game and Savannah's there, by the narrative of the show that you've created, it has to be like, well, yeah, she got there, so she's the best.
Yeah, I think I was overall with Rizzo I was pretty impressed with him overall because there were a few moments where he was in a real tight spot. And it was a really weird season as well to have those sort of 3/4 with Nate being like on the bottom, quote unquote, the whole time. Like, that was quite unique, and that was kind of cool to see these people get through and everyone else couldn't quite get it together to get rid of them. And surprise, surprise, that's a compelling story for you to win. You know what I mean? Like, to get through that far. I do completely agree with you guys about Sophie. I think big fumble there not taking Rizzo's idol and turning on those guys because it seemed like she was all gearing up to it and then just sort of backed out at the last minute. And it was kind of like, oh man, like... That's the cool thing. And it was really weird to have her the whole time kind of be like, I'm ready to make big moves. I'm here. That's what I'm going to do. I've got to do it at some point. I know I've got to do it. It's definitely something I've got to do. And then like, as you get closer to be like, oh no, I like these people.
No, Josh, you forgot about the tacos, Josh.
That's what I mean. But like,
it all came down to the tacos.
But that's what it's just to flip all that to be like, oh, but I really like them. Yay, let's go team to the end. Like,
do you know one thing I think I saw commenting was so at the start of the new era, they had a conversation in 41 where Jeff said, "Should I stop saying come on in, guys?"
Oh, I remember that.
He used to always say come on in, guys, and should I change it to just come on in? And they did, and they said, yeah, you know what? Let's move with the times and stuff like that. But when we have a Mexican feast, let's get them in sombreros. Hey! I was waiting for the mariachi band to come out behind them. It's like, so we haven't progressed that far. That's so fun.
Great.
Hey, look at us eating tacos.
Yeah,
like, I thought that was ridiculous. Yeah.
So yeah, I thought it was a bit of a fumble from Sophie there.
Yeah.
I did find Sage's, just to move on to Sage now as well. I thought she did a pretty good job like throughout the season. Like I felt like she did things with Joanne and made moves and to me made good moves for her game and was going over here with these and doing this over there and clearly had her finger on the pulse and knew what was going on. So it was a bit surprising to see her kind of get trounced in the end a bit of like pretty much just, I guess, not
blamed.
being able to tell that. Well, yeah.
She got blamed.
And not being able to tell that story effectively that comes good. But I don't actually know, based on the feeling that everyone had, it seemed like maybe she was drawing dead anyway and she had no hope.
Pretty much the consensus is that everyone on the jury, she had no idea, but everyone on the jury was like, Sage is the reason why we all lost this. Sage is the one that like flipped around and blew up all our games, which is crazy because everyone has to vote. It's not her one vote that changed the entire game.
But also she got through to the end. The ergo beat you. Like
yeah, exactly.
That thing people forget. Like if they get to the end, essentially they beat you. You know, if they get further than you, they did better than you. You know, at a very base level.
Her decisions that she made got her to the end.
Were better for her, which is who she's playing for. It doesn't make sense.
But ultimately,
to be pissy.
People feel this is the beauty of the game of Survivor, Josh, because they then need to vote for you to win, and it did feel. And she was. You saw her break down in the reunion. She suddenly realized she's like, oh wow, these people really like hated me and blamed me for everything. She got really upset because apparently Final Tribal was way worse than the edit showed as well.
Man,
like
really?
People really went like to her and just really had a go.
Because I didn't feel that she played a game that was that underhanded or like that sneaky or you know what I mean? I felt like her and Joanne, she knew her position and she's like, I'm going to go with these guys and I'm going to do some work over here. Now move over here. Like I thought they played quite well. Overall though, I just think, and just to quickly touch on Savannah before the sort of overall feelings, I feel really kind of weird about Savannah because I was thinking about what were her big things that she did well? Because I don't know if I'm just misremembering, but I'm like, I remember moments where Rizzo went and talked to people and flipped them and got in their head. And I don't remember Savannah doing equally the same. It just seemed like almost this foregone conclusion that Savannah is strong. We have to get rid of Savannah. But I don't recall a lot of her social game stuff. And am I just misremembering?
Yeah, well, she pulled Sophie in. She pulled Blue Sophie in. Was like, you're my sister. Yeah. She had the ear of several people throughout the thing. And then she won those key challenges that made that you couldn't vote for her. And that she was a good talker and she did get she tried to grab MC's idol thing. Remember that?
Yeah.
So she was pretty fierce.
Yeah, and I think that shone through in the challenges, right? Clearly a strong competitor in that aspect, but I think in the more like gameplay trying to navigate through, I didn't feel like she was necessarily the strongest in that. Like as you said, one of the ones she really needed with Rizzo by her side, like and the idol there, it really I think as you spoke about, really that made that strategy work, right? Like you had that extra question mark with him. So I think as a way to navigate from the bottom, I think they did really well as a group, but she didn't really stick out to me as like she ran the game or dominated the game or, you know what I mean? Like it's like navigated it really well, won the challenges need to, like saved herself a lot. And that's part of the game, winning challenges. I totally think that's a valid way to get through. But yeah, I don't I didn't feel like there were these moments that I was like, oh yeah, she really got out of that one and flipped that person, and so I don't know.
Well, it wasn't the most memorable season all up. Like, you can remember those three, the Trey Letches, or yeah,
The what?
that's what they called themselves.
The what?
The Trey. I don't know.
I don't. When was this?
This is in the taco eating scene.
I don't remember this. I don't
Yeah,
know.
well,
I don't
it
know what
was
you're talking
there.
about.
But yeah, they like, outside of those three really standing out, like, there wasn't the craziest stuff happening this season.
Yeah, there was. I can't remember which episode it was. There was. I think what it was as well. When you've got like that idol with Rizzo, and this is to get at the overall season a bit, you missed out a bit on. Oh, why didn't they do that? Oh, I wish they'd done that. And how did they not think to do that, or split the vote here, or do that? It just seemed like this. It didn't feel like great decision making, and not great decision making with new players. I like it when someone is steering that and making them make mistakes,
making them happen. Yeah.
But it wasn't really that. It was just sort of bad decision making, and I think their path wasn't the most optimal way to do it, but not in like a. And so I think it was almost more frustrating in some ways. That it wasn't like, oh my God, these guys are owning them and they're making all these mistakes. It was like, oh man, you had the chance and you didn't do it. Come on. Like, I think, kind of feeling.
Yeah, I think it was a season overall, and we sort of talked about it with Noonan, but it was like missed opportunities. It was because a lot of the seasons we were talking about, something's going to happen good next week. Or like the next episode, there was a lot of that. It was like, if this and this happens next week, it'll be really cool. And a lot of the time that didn't happen. And so I feel like it was an anticipation season of like episode to episode, but it never paid off.
Well, and I think that kind of comes down. It's almost like maybe that's the whole Rizzo idol thing, because it's like you're waiting for it to get played and them to make and like for the others to make a move against it that is effective. And in the absence of that, it's kind of like you're being edged the whole time of like, something's going to happen with this idol. Like something's going to happen. Oh no, it didn't. Oh no. And so like, I think maybe that is because it lasted through the whole season. Maybe that was a bit of the frustration for me, that it felt like he used it effectively by not using it, but because it happened so much, it was almost deflating. It was like,
and then the other thing. Like, but see, the thing is, then you don't get to rehide the idol and goes back into the game. Yes, Christina had one and it got played poorly, but it would have been fun if some other people had idols.
But also, like, that getting played when she did, trying to do the thing, I was like, great. Like, thought she knew what the plan was, tried to go for it. It didn't come off, but like, it felt like there was almost, and I think you guys spoke about the risk aversion to being the bounce back.
Yeah, the bounce back risk aversion.
To be like, I don't want to put myself out there.
BBRA.
Yeah, I don't want to put myself out there. Let's just do the safe one that I know that person will go home rather than rolling the dice on Rizzo. And, he didn't get through in the end, but like, you essentially
got as far as
handed
you
it
could,
to those.
yeah.
Exactly.
I just want to say though, Christina totally redeems herself with her final tribal council question.
Yeah, sorry. So good. That was so good.
That was old school mother effing Survivor.
It really was. I was like, yes, this is old school stuff. And it just, I don't know what it is about it, but it just feels like that's the sort of, and we spoke about this, about the culture clash, and you don't really have that anymore in Survivor, these people. And it's like, that felt like a thing of like, I'm still a human being here, and I'm bringing that into the game, and you should know about this, and you know what I mean? And you guys also spoke about it, but the way that she immediately backed down from like when she really tried to go after Sage and then immediately felt really bad about it. This is when she was still in the game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then I get trouble saying, I'm actually so sorry. I'm so sorry. And like, that just sort of summed up her game a bit. But yeah, I
when she said, she's like, I can't do it. And she goes, try. Yeah.
It was so good. And it was like, it didn't seem like it bothered anyone too much, because I think
it didn't affect the game, but it was a cool moment.
Well, it's almost
I thought you would enjoy that, Josh.
I really did. But what's interesting, it's kind of like an old school question, but with a new school outcome, where like people go, I actually don't really mind. How did she play Survivor? Like, it's fine.
That's true.
Yeah.
Now, I want to get into this. Other things happened since we stopped recording, Josh. The post game. Now, this has really dragged out the post game a lot, and some things happened, and there was a bit of a whistleblower in the form of Sage. Now, Sage put together these elongated 45-minute long videos.
Whoa.
Where I think she did like 30 pages of Instagram like stories and stuff like that. And she basically said, I'm going to put this all out there. Now, this reeks of someone that is having a bad time. Like, she got to the final. She feel like she's like 0 vote finalist, got burnt. Was
One,
pretty
she got one.
Well, no,
Joanne,
sorry,
right?
she got one. Sorry, she got Joanne. Yeah, sorry. Apologies, Sage. But she comes out and she says, there were some cheaters on this season. And then she does a weird thing about saying, like, I will name them in good time. Stay tuned, like, end of the week. And then the end of the week came. And then she was like, only one more day until I name them. And she was very much like, I'm giving them a chance to come to me and talk to me. It felt like someone trying to control the narrative of the post game. Right?
Yeah, right.
And trying to reanalyze what that was.
Because I've seen a little bits of Bob, so it'd be interesting to get the full story from you. But like, it does. I can't imagine she does this if she felt a bit better done by people on the jury, right?
Correct. That I agree. Or if she won, she's definitely not doing it. But basically, she comes to the table and she says there was insane. So she was an alternate for a previous season, I think 47. Mm-hmm. So she knows what that Ponderosa like pre-season is like. And then so she compared it and she said if that was like a 2. Then 49's pre-gaming was like a 99.9% shambles.
Yeah,
so
right.
She said no one was talking, no one was doing anything. This was insane. She said people got up in the middle of the night at 3 a.m. to like talk and met up.
Yeah, wow.
And there were people hanging out at the toilet area and people would come and they would wait and they would chat. They had little tents like set up so people would go there and then just walk between tents and talk to each other. She said it was out of control.
Yeah, right.
And there were handlers sort of saying, guys, you really got to be quiet, and contestants just laughing at them being like, yeah, whatever. She said it was insane, right? And then ultimately she said, well, 2 people got kicked off the season because of this, which we know. 2 people on Hina, which was and then it got replaced by MC and Jason.
Yeah, right.
So the reason that came about as well, and this is what else has come out in the telling, is that these people were playing the game in preseason. They were deciding on first boots. They said, this can, I reckon, let's just make this person the first boot if we get on the game, which is insane. That is insane. And so then it came out that Christina was going to be the first boot. And then Christina must have been doing some sort of pre-game because she must have heard it from someone.
Yeah, okay.
So then she heard that she was going to be the designated first boot. So then she talked to production and then production kicked those 2 people off. Amazing. And so that's how that happened.
Wow.
But then she said they weren't even the worst. Well, they were bad, but at the end of the whole saga, the Sage saga, she said the 2 people that I'm going to name, I'm not going to name the third, but the 2 people that were really bad was Blue Sophie and Jake. And she said they were terrible. They were constantly talking at the toilet. She said, I got up at 3 a.m. one night to go to the toilet and they were just both there chatting. And I was like, oh, that's weird. Aren't we not meant to do this? And then they said, no, it's okay. It's okay. And then she went back to after the toilet and they were just still there just talking. And it sort of makes sense. If you think back to the start of the season, Sophie talked a lot about Jake's my number one, Jake's my ride or die, Alex is stealing Jake from me. And you didn't see them build that. You didn't see them build it. Like, and everyone was a bit like, oh, this is weird.
Yeah.
So there's speculation on the third person who that possibly could be. That was really bad as well. And there's
on that Blue Tribe, you think? Or?
Well, I don't know because it might have, because Blue Tribe, they said those first 2 boots of what were their name? Annie and was it Hannah?
Let me just
Hannah?
Go back to my car. The old cast.
It was definitely Annie. Apparently,
Nicole,
yeah, Nicole and Annie, they were drawing dead. That was sort of already decided between Jake and Sophie. It's like we'll just go those 2 and we'll pull Alex in, which is freaking brutal, man. Because you don't even have a chance to play the game.
That's what I mean. It's kind of like, isn't the joy, like, yes, you're nervous to not go out first, but like, isn't the joy of playing, and you can speak to this, isn't the joy of Survivor playing Survivor? Isn't that the joy of it?
So there's some things I want to talk about because I went through this experience. So one is there is a fear of being the first person out. Yeah. And if you can do something to just alleviate that fear a little bit, then people would go, you know what, I'm going to take this opportunity. Now, part of that is you also, I had a weird juxtaposition in my mind because I was like, I don't want to be first out, so I want to try and make connections and stuff like that. But I want to be a good boy and not break the rules.
Great,
because I was like, Survivor is sacrilegious, and you don't break the rules. If production tell you not talking,
that's like
don't
me.
talk.
I'm a good boy. Follow
And
the
so
rules.
you could do things like I remember me and Kitty were in the back of a bus being taken somewhere pre-game, and you sort of looked at each other and just little smile, little nod, like, "Ugh." Or that something happens when we're filming the boats with the rebels going around, like something happens, and we're like, oh wow, well, did you see that? And you sort of have these little connections.
Yeah, but that's like almost the human condition, right? Like,
Yeah.
kind of, yeah.
Yeah, and so you're not finding out, you're not talking to everyone. And production were harsh. Production was like, no talking, step away. What are you doing? Shut up. Like, they were really on top of it in our season. So, and yet there were people that would still go off and like sort of, and they would be told again and again, don't talk, don't talk.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I'm like, guys, can we just not all talk? Because I would feel like, I'm missing out. Because they are making a connection.
Well, you're like, am I the idiot for playing by the rules here?
Correct.
If everyone else isn't.
Because if everyone is like going off to the side and being like, hey man, how you going, man?
Why wouldn't
I'm from
I?
Melbourne. I'm from Melbourne too. Yeah,
solid.
Those little tiny interactions can mean something when you actually land on the beach. When you go, that guy was smiling a lot, or that guy was like looking at me and it seemed really open and interesting. Where I think it's insane. Like, I would rather no one talk and us go into the game straight.
And it's the first time you meet
equal
them,
footing.
Right?
But I get that people are going to be around. And those smiles and interactions, I don't really have a problem with that. Because you just sort of have... Where it draws the line with me is when you're literally talking to someone being like, who's going to be our first boot? Because this doesn't happen on camera. And this isn't part of the season. Like, I think that's really messed up. Like,
especially because it's like you're also basing this decision on nothing. You haven't spoken to that person. You don't know who they are. You don't know anything about them. They might be an incredible ally for you, and you're just throwing them out just because you happen to hang out with this person first.
But the thing is, if everyone is doing it, then you are missing out. Then then Annie is getting screwed because she's like, I'm just going to follow the rules.
Yeah.
But everyone else is talking about me, so it's like, oh god, man, this is ridiculous. And so ultimately, I feel like it's production for not being hard-ass enough on everyone and going like, nah, you guys get in. Like, that's what you need. You need a really hard-ass production. And ultimately, 2 people got kicked off the season. But do that at like straight off the bat. Zero tolerance. You're talking, you know what? You've done it 3 times, you're out.
Maybe it'll be like that in the future. They'll have like almost like a dummy bidder. So they'll have someone there who does a bit talking and then they get kicked off the season.
Yes.
Like, oh, I'm so annoyed.
Yes.
I shouldn't have been talking so much.
And then you see them get behind a camera and start filming. You're like, wait a minute. So there was that. And so ultimately there is a conspiracy theory, Josh. I know you love a conspiracy theory.
Hit me.
It's called Crategate. That's what I'm calling it.
Great.
The idea is Jake was also known as really bad cheater, and they only had 2 alternates, so they couldn't kick out any more than 2 people.
Oh,
and so they employed the old Crate to remove Jake from the game.
To get a little bit too attached, shall we say?
So people were zooming in. People were like, you don't actually see it bite him. You don't actually see it.
Yeah, you don't see it.
And then people are like, no, there's marks on his foot. There's definitely marks. And well, they talked to the doctors, and the doctors did say, is he still breathing okay? And that's very serious. That's very serious. And they're like, no, I don't know. I think the Crate was in on it. I think Jeff got the Crate.
My question to you, Eden, does the Hippocratic Oath cover this? Or do they throw that out the window to be like, yes, Mr. Probst, I will kick him off,
Joshua,
Mr. Probst.
you're not going deep enough. If he's even a doctor, you got to go another level deeper, mate.
It's not Dr. James Gill, so we don't know.
We don't know. Shout out to friend of the podcast, Dr. James Gill. Shout out. It's not him, so we don't know. We don't know. It's this random guy.
That's great.
So interestingly enough, Jake didn't compete in the season. He was named as one of the people that were cheating. And when you only have 2 alternates, then that's
a really interesting problem. It sucks as well because it's kind of like you may only have one chance to play Survivor in your life, right?
Correct.
And so, a couple of those people
don't I know it, Josh?
Yeah.
Don't I know it?
But a couple of those people absolutely blew it by trying to get ahead, and they did, and they will never be on that show. You know what I mean? They got this close, and then they thought they were trying to get away with it. It's just. I don't know. I'm with you though. Like if I was on and production would tell me, I'm like, yeah, absolutely, I will do that. Whatever you say. Yeah. You're running the show. This is your thing.
But then if you see people getting up in the middle of the night and talking at the toilets and being like, this is what we're going to do.
I'm snitching. That's what I'm doing.
Oh, you're snitching.
I think I'm snitching. Yeah. Just to be like, I don't care if I'm a stick in the mud because this thing is sacred.
But you know what happens? You snitch and then the production go to them, go like, someone's been saying that you guys are talking and stuff like that, and then you get posted as the snitch person, and then the game starts, and they go, yeah, Josh had a go at us.
I figured it out. I join in on one of their conversations.
Yes.
And then immediately after I snitch on it, and I was like, oh, we got caught, guys. Like, I'm one of you.
That's good, mate.
It was someone else peering through their
unless in that conversation you go, all three of you out of the game. And you're like, no, this was the plan. No. I was just pretending.
I'm a good boy.
I'm a good little boy. Yeah. So that was 49 in a nutshell, and that was the post game. It's really dragged the post game out, which was fun, but it's all done now. Sage has said, look, hopefully these people can find forgiveness and they can own up to it. She really wanted them to own up to it.
Well, I think they either, if it's not true, they defend it.
Yeah.
But if it is true, they stay silent, I presume, right? Like,
yeah. Oh, the other thing that happened, Josh, this is wild. An account called Torch Snuffer started we're making comments throughout the season and defending Blue Sophie a lot and being like, you guys don't know shit. And why'd you get like Sophie Clark? They're like, Sophie Clark's so boring. Why'd you get her? Blue Sophie's the better Sophie. The old don't go too deep on things, Soph, because the internet will come and find you. And they found out that it was Blue Sophie's account, that she had made a fake account and started doing this. And then it came out, they said, no, it's connected to your phone number. And then she said, oh no, that's my brother. My brother made it and started defending me online.
Sure.
So yeah, it's very funny because her whole online, like Blue Sophie's perpetually online.
Yeah. Okay.
So she's reading everything, doing everything, and that sort of came out and it blew up. But yeah, well.
All very new school Survivor stuff, this isn't it?
This is very new school.
Not,
Josh.
I wouldn't give you a drip of water if I passed you in the desert. Yeah, we've moved on from that.
We've moved way on from that. It's like, I would not give you a like or a subscribe if you were starving for attention.
Yeah, I will not follow you after this game, okay? Imagine that your fire and brimstone.
Imagine if Sue Hawk came back for 50 and said, I would not even follow you. That would be a full circle moment of Survivor.
That'd be great.
So good. So that was the post game of 49. And that's a good little sum up there. But let's just we've had a couple of questions. We did ask for some shout outs and stuff. And throughout the season, people sent through. So I'll touch a couple of them now. So
most of them are behind the scenes
stuff, yes, which is what people want to know.
Yeah, it's really fascinating.
So Danny Bryan would like to know. He's got a couple of questions. He would like to know, how hard was the water physical they make you do before the season? So before you go out, you have to obviously do a physical. Part of that is doing a swim test as well. So I got on my season really late, like 2 days before we left, and so I had to really quickly organise an official person to come down to the St Kilda baths and had to watch me and
really?
Had to fill it out. Yeah. And we had to fill it out and get it all done officially. And it basically, it's more because people hear that and go like, I'm not a very good swimmer. This could really blow my game out. It's really just to make sure you're not, you can
swim.
Yeah. So I think I ended up doing there were 50-meter pools. I think I ended up doing 4. I think it was 200 meters. So it was like 4 laps. And you could do any stroke you wanted. You could take your time. You just can't sort of stop halfway and hold the side.
Do you want a little fun fact about freestyle?
What's that, mate?
That competition. No. That's not the stroke you have to do.
Yeah.
In that event, you can do anything you want, and everyone chooses to do that stroke.
That's because it's actually called the forward crawl, isn't it?
No. It's forward crawl is like doggy paddle, isn't it?
Oh, is it? I thought that was doggy paddle. Anyway, yeah, that freestyle is just, you can do any style, but that's the most optimal style. Right. Yeah, so there you go. Do we have a fact nugget thing that we can put up? We don't?
We got that.
Oh, good. Okay, there we go. Yeah, and then the other part of it is just treading water, because you do have to. There are challenges where you have to be in the water and make sure you can tread water and stuff like that, and they just time you. So it's very achievable. But I'd been trying out for many years, and there were periods of time where I was like, I've really got to get my swimming better. I remember I heard AK from a past season in one of his interviews. I think he was really worried about the swimming part, and he trained and he did all this stuff and he got quite good. And then it was like an 100-meter swim, and he's like, I could okay, swim. It's done. And he was just, yeah. So that's
just shy of world record pace. It's all right.
Yeah, that's what you want to get to.
Yeah.
The other thing Danny would like to know is just about the off days. So obviously you don't have a challenge every day, and you don't have an immunity or a reward or anything like that. And you do get off days. Famously, the Titans, we got an off day pretty early on and it was part of it was because our shelter was so crap. They're like, you guys need a day of no challenges just so you can get your shelter better because you guys are really, it's the worst shelter we've ever seen, sort of thing. And so they just choose, and yeah, they are just off days. You don't have a challenge. You don't have to go to a challenge. You don't have to go to tribal council. But it does mean that they can be, later on in the game, they can be quite dull days. There's less of them later on.
And you're not really talking, you can't really talk strategy.
There are long
right?
periods of time where you can't talk strat because you don't have a lot of cameras around, and you can only talk strat when you've got cameras around. And so you end up just talking about what's your favorite movie, what do you want to eat when you get back, and it's all those conversations like what's your favorite pizza topping and all
what are
that
you
sort of
missing?
stuff. Yeah. What are you missing?
What are you imagining eating right now?
Yeah. So that's sort of what that is. Jasper would like to know, how does the toilet situation work? There's not like a secret hidden like nice place you would go off to the toilet. In Australian Survivor, it's just a drop toilet, and it's just off in the jungle, and you go to it, and it's fine. We have there's like a bit of a system where you have a shell, you take the shell, and when you go into the toilet, people sort of know if there's someone out
that's
there.
like the door lock. If the shell's not there.
Yeah.
Is that like an ode to Demolition Man or something? Or?
I think it is. I think it's Demolition Man. Someone came up with it and was just like, it's great. I think it's one of those things as well that is just someone must have come up with it, and now it's just like, oh, that's what you do. Like, I'm sure someone originally was like,
oh, hey guys, let's just put a shell out.
Let's just do a shell thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that's an interesting idea. And now it's just one of those things that like, this is the best way to handle that. And so that's fine.
Do you have, can I ask do you have Charmin toilet paper?
No, there's not Charmin toilet paper.
Remember? I feel like I missed the old rewards when it was like heavily
branded. Yeah.
Got some Mountain Dew and some Doritos. Oh yeah.
Dude, some Mountain Dew and Doritos. Well, they had KFC a couple of seasons ago.
That's true. Yeah. And that feels tacky, but when it's like in America, I'm like, those cool American brands.
Well, didn't they have Arby's? And remember Liz? Did you watch that season?
No, I don't know.
When Liz goes, I'm pissed. It's become a meme.
I've seen that
itself.
clip, but I didn't know it was about
times.
missing out on Arby's.
Down and Out would like to know about your clothes for the show. So, the clothes, you can only take a certain amount of clothes with you, and you can pick them yourself, but they have to get approved by the show.
Do they tell you what color?
They did say if you have any blue, that would be good. But like sometimes if it's not color based at that point, they'll just be like, just wear something interesting.
Because to me, that's such a core part of it. Like their general clothing is very much of the tribe to give that. Cohesion.
Well, they do. They say if you've got blue, like they said to me, if you've got sort of blue shorts or blue pants, like that would be good. But then no logos, no things. I had a great Jurassic Park logo top that I couldn't wear because they were.
You would have been blurred out all season.
Yeah, it'd be
And they're like, does he have the top of
person? Yeah.
Does he have a little ass crack on his stomach or something? What's going on?
Yeah, does he even have a naked woman on his chest for the whole season? That's not very like him. That's not very on brand. But you just try and choose something that sort of fits your archetype. And it's like I had my Hawaiian shirt, but it's stuff that I would wear anyway. Like,
well, that's what you want, right? You want it to be a reflection of the person's personality. So
exactly. I had my Hawaiian shirt, I had my dinosaur tracksuit hoodie and pants. I had my bathers. Obviously, you want to bring bathers. I had some fun socks. Some undies.
Do recall your biggest regret was everyone else had Crocs and you
Crocs,
did not.
Mate. Make
that
sure
was
you
the
bring
missing
Crocs.
element. Yeah.
So I had my Converse shoes that were useless after day one when they got drenched, and I'm like, I'm not putting these back on. And so then
again.
So I would have loved a pair of Crocs out there like that. They're just so good for like walking near the beach, and then you're not going to stipe on anything because if you have to walk off and so good. Make sure you take your Crocs with you,
or just any unbranded beach kind of shoe. We're not sponsored by Crocs, is what I'm getting at.
Oh, I'd love to be sponsored by Crocs.
Yeah, give us some
Crocs if you're listening. We're happy to call the podcast from now on Crocs Presents Survivor Debrief.
I will wear them on our hands for the whole recording.
Yeah,
so people can see
like,
them. So I just got this new one.
Oh, we can record for hours in our comfortable Crocs.
So comfortable.
Mate, is this an ad read? Are we doing an ad read now, Josh?
We need a bed. If there's a music bed under this next time we talk about Crocs, guys, you'll know the deal's gone through.
Yeah, the deal's gone through. Exactly. The other ones, well, there's some other questions about season 50, but we might get to that in a second. But yeah, we could keep going on for a while. Was there any other questions that you had on your end from people, Jay?
No,
or-
I think that's it. I think we're up to season 50 now because
Yeah, let's just get to season 50. We don't want to go too long.
that is coming up.
But season 50, actually, before we do that, I just want to shout out to some of our listeners that have been really they've been listening to every pod and everything. So it looks like Ethan Basileria. Should
have got me to do this read.
Ethan Bacall, maybe?
Shocking,
Anyway, Ethan.
Shocking.
Ethan, will you
know
what
who
is
you
it?
are.
Do you
Where,
have it?
in what? On Instagram? Or?
No, it's on Facebook. It's on Facebook. It's on YouTube.
On YouTube.
But Ethan's always commenting daily. So it's Carleen Daly 6090 is a very big supporter, and Matt Forrest 9574. Matt Forrest is out there as well, guys. Thank you so much for your continued support of the pod. They're always commenting on YouTube, and I think it's fantastic.
Absolutely. I love Ethan Baccarella.
Is it Baccarella?
I think so.
Okay. Well,
Thanks,
we'll
Ethan.
see.
Anyway, but yeah, we genuinely really appreciate the comments.
that.
We try and get to them as much as we can. It's a lot going on all the time. But yeah, we really do appreciate it, and that helps us out. So the more you guys like this show and talk about it and comment and stuff, it helps the show grow, and that's really what we want. So the more you share it and tell your friends and comment on stuff, it all helps us in the right direction. 100%. So yeah, massive thanks to those people who every week consistently writing stuff. It's massively appreciated.
It's so good, man. It's so good. But yeah, we did have a lot of questions about 50. So about like who would you have put on and who do you think is going to win and stuff like that. So we'll jump into 50 now. Obviously, it's a huge milestone. Josh, it's in the hands of the fans.
In the hands of the fans. Not these fans who international. We can't vote.
We were not. It was not in our hands. So first of all, we would like a lot of questions about who's missing from there. Look, I obviously would have liked a lot more like old school legends. I think from the new era. So obviously they've done half new era, half old school.
Yeah.
Old school, new school. But ultimately I would have liked. Let's just get the big names from new school. Like let's not fill with people that don't.
Can I ask? Was there like a break? Was 40 the first of the new era?
41. 40 was Winners at War.
Okay. Did they take like a break, or it was more like Winners at War and that closed that chapter?
So it was Winners at War, then COVID happened, and then Winners at War couldn't do the live reunion. They did a Zoom reunion from Winners at War because of COVID.
Right.
Then there was a bit of COVID mucking about, and then they came back with 41. So basically, Jeff had redesigned the game with fire tokens and all this stuff, and then famously, Mike White said, "But is that fun? Is that fun to do that?" And then they reimagined Survivor is in a shorter time frame. That's when all that sort of happened.
What's the fire token stuff?
So in Winners at War, everyone got given a fire token, and then when you got voted out, you could bequeath that to someone else, and then you could use the fire token to buy advantages in the game.
Okay.
So it became like a currency.
Interesting.
Yeah. It doesn't really work.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I said interesting.
Yeah. I think Parv and Tyson bought some peanut butter, and that was about the most interesting thing that happened.
Right on. Well, I think, speaking of who's missing, I feel like we got a good dose of that in Oz vs. the World.
Yeah.
Like, Tony for me.
Yeah, Tony's not there.
Tony is one I would absolutely love to see. I think, like, yeah, if you really want to wind the clock back, I again, completely ignoring the fact of their life situation, what's going on, all
and some of these people they did ask, and they said
that's what I mean, right?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking like you Russell Hantz. Do you get Richard Hatch? You know, like really wind the clock back, like.
Hatch would have been good, but he's had issues.
That's what I mean. Like, let's forget that. Just everything. Just if you purely had it.
I think the biggest snub is Rob C.
Yes, yeah, totally.
So Rob C was pretty far along, and there's rumors that Rob C and Mike White, like if you've listened to Mike White's Exit podcast for the RHAP, you know, famous podcast, Survivor podcast, everyone's heard of it. They do exit interviews. Rob did exit interview with Mike, and all season long in David vs. Goliath, Rob had been ripping on Mike White for writing the Emoji Movie. And he'd been mentioning it a lot and be like, "Oh, you mean Mike, the Emoji Movie writer?" And oh yeah, you probably got a lot of those skills from. And he's obviously taking the piss because Rob's like, it's funny. It's like he knows he's done other stuff. He's been on The Amazing Race. He's done all this stuff. And then in Mike's exit interview, and no one could figure out whether it was real or not, but Mike calls him out on it quite harshly, and it totally is one of the most awkward. If you haven't listened to it, go listen to it. because Rob's great at all that stuff,
Yeah,
but they
yeah.
just clashed. And Mike said, well, yeah, it's great, Rob, because you bring up the Emoji Movie every 5 seconds and all this stuff. And like, I think Mike was more upset that he was a big fan of Rob. And
Yeah,
in his
totally.
pre-game, he said, I love Rob C.
Yeah, totally.
And all this sort of stuff.
And now he's just taking the piss out of me all season.
Yeah, and he did feel, and it got this really weird feel. And then there was a rumor here that Rob C was like on, and then when Mike said he'd do it, that became a counterpoint.
Wow,
and that perhaps that could have had something to do with why, because Rob was dropped pretty late, and then ultimately he went and did the Traders, which go Rob.
But it's so good to have Rob on.
I know, and he is the person that sort of kept being the hands of the fans. Like, he has been the fan that's been kept everyone connected.
Pardon the pun, he's carried the torch, right?
Correct, correct. Yeah. I would have liked Rob C. I think huge C. My other one is Penner. I love Penner.
Yeah, Penner for sure.
Penner for sure.
Shane? I think Shane would have been
Shane,
crazy.
oh, my boy Shane. Yeah.
Shane would have been, because he went kooky, and that was so much fun.
Yeah, well, the whole thing with Shane was when he didn't get on Second Chance, when he was on the bubble and he just missed out on getting on. Yeah, Shane was like, I'm done with Survivor. Because apparently he was really close on a lot of seasons. Like, he was kicked off Heroes versus Villains for Russell. Russell took his spot there and a couple of things. So he was sort of burnt, and then he was like, I'm done with Survivor.
I think Russell would be good.
Russell's crazy, though.
I think I like Tyson. Tyson's interesting.
Again, bring him back. But we just saw a lot of these people in 40.
Sure. I'm talking about my list, Eden.
I know, it's your list, sorry. I think the other biggest snub of the new era is obviously Caroline. She was a huge character in her season.
Caroline.
Oh, you didn't see her.
Okay.
So she was a huge kooky character, absolutely amazing, probably the most identifiable person in the new era. And she got into a big fight because she went off and did other shows. So she did the Traders, she did other stuff, and Jeff came out and said, people are not loyal to our franchise. They're doing other shows. And then they got into a big fight. And then Caroline also started a podcast with one of her castmates, Carson. And then that got a cease and desist from CBS saying, you can't just start your own podcast. No, you can't talk about all this stuff.
Oh, my gosh.
So that got shut down. And then they just had a really bad relationship, even though everyone wanted her on the season.
Oh, no.
And then ultimately, apparently, there was a phone call where Jeff rang her up and said, apparently everyone's cracking it and I have to invite you to 50. And she's like, well, do you want me there or not? Because if you don't want me there, I don't, like...
So strange.
You either want me or you don't. And he's like, well, no, we have to have you, apparently. She's like, you know what? Whatever. Like, don't. If you don't want me there, then that's fine. So that was her story. And I think she's amazing and she's awesome and she would have definitely been a lock there. She's probably more interesting than half these other guys.
That's a bummer. Otherwise, I reckon a Cochrane would be good.
Cochrane would have been interesting. Like, these, you're going big. You're going big, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm just, it's just the names that stick out to me, right? Like...
Well, that's it. That's what you want at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I think Dom. I think Dom from. Did you watch?
Dom, I don't recall Dom.
You don't recall Dom? No.
What did Dom
Dom
do?
was from Ghost Island. So Wendell won. So Wendell and Dom were a team, and they went all the way to the end. And it was a famously they got the same number of votes at the end, and then the person that got 0 votes had to then decide who won.
Oh, that's cool. That's very cool.
Yeah. I think Dom should have probably been there as someone that.
Well, I think for me, it's like when I'm thinking of 50, it's like. As we saw, I think, with Australia versus the world, when it's all gold, it's like gold gets through. You know what I mean? Like, it's really cool to see there's no space. It's like, yeah, it sucks to lose all these people, but no one bandies up against the big ones because they're all big ones, right?
Yeah.
Like,
what about fair play? Like, where's fair play?
Totally. Yeah,
Get fair
absolutely.
play back. I don't think he's had a fair shake.
Like a real good... like spanner in the works, right? I reckon he'd be really.
Where's Kelly Wiggleworth?
Yeah, sure.
Like, get some of these, like, these amazing, for so many. Yeah, I don't know. The women, the back with, like, Stephanie's obviously. Sari is amazing. Jenna's there with season 1.
Kim Spradlin, get her back.
Yeah, well, again, she came back on 40, and people were like, yeah, cool. But then you could have got some of these other, like, people that almost won. Because the winners, like having Yule and all these people back for 40 was like awesome.
Yeah, cool.
Like whether or not they come back for 50, so you've sort of done them, but there's plenty of opportunities for for other people.
There's some good, exciting people here, so it's nice. Yeah. I don't know anyone the new era. I know Genevieve, so I'm excited for her, but I don't really know anyone else except for
Rizzo
and Savannah. Yeah, so.
Yeah, the new era people, I think Q's great. I think Jonathan's great. I think D's a good pick. I think Genevieve's amazing. I don't think we needed Kyle, Joe, and Camilla from 48. I think one of them would have been fine. Tiff's an interesting pick. I think she's only there because she fought with Q on their season. So I think that's the reason why she's there. Emily, fine, but not breaking the game. I don't know whether we needed Rizzo and Savannah, but they wanted 3 winners, so they have a winner on each tribe.
Right. Okay. I think, yeah, having both, it seems almost odd that you would have 2 people who were in a close, tight alliance. Like, I feel like normally you would pick people who didn't work together, or because it's like, oh no, Savannah, of those 2, Savannah won. Like, she did the better of you 2.
Yep.
But then I guess maybe you could look at Rizzo and be like, yeah, the only reason he went out is he didn't make a fire quick enough, you know? So
he's good. I know people don't like Jonathan, but I think he, again, stands out as someone that was really iconic in his season.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. But then the classic people, Jay, the classics.
This is where I'm at.
This is your at. So so if we got to look at winners picks, one male and one female, where's your head at?
I'm leaning towards, I think Genevieve could go far because I really liked her in 47.
Good get. Yeah.
I think she will be that, because it was a weird season where she was sort of slow to get going, but then really took off. So I feel like I think she'll be really good at biding her time and understanding when I should go, when I should not, when I should push the accelerator, when I shouldn't. She got a bit stiffed in the end in terms of like where she kind of ended up. So I think she might course correct enough to put herself in a better position as they get through. And then I think for the bet, I might just give Coach. I might just go for Coach because I like
love it.
I don't know if he'll get through, but I think he could kind of be charming enough to people and interesting and mysterious, and then just get to a point where people kind of don't get rid of him. I feel he could be one of those people that like maybe don't see him as a threat and they kind of just leave him in the game.
Do you know what's interesting is someone that I know was at the 49 finale talking to some of the new school people, and they said the person that they were most excited to sort of play with is Coach. Great. So there's this reverence from the new school people of like, oh man, I remember Coach. It'd be so cool to hang out with him. He'll do Tai Chi with us. And they've sort of created this thing in your brain. So that could actually really work for him, as opposed to some of the other guys. Like Suri, maybe people go like, she's such a huge threat. Mike White would be like, oh, he's such a huge threat. These people might be seen as big threats.
I think Suri, based on what we saw in Australia versus the world, I kind of feel like maybe Suri could get far of being so lovely and so nice to people. That it is hard to put her name down. So
yeah, because what happened with some of the other, like Winners at War is a good example where people talk about like a lot of big names went early, and we saw that in All Stars as well back in the day. I think what they've done, because now they've only been casting like fans of the show for the last new era. So now you're in a position where the new people actually want to play with these classic people. Totally. So you're in a cool position where even if the tribes are split for old, for new school, you only need one new school person to go, man, I want to play with Colby.
I'm not getting rid of Colby,
play
right?
With Coach. Like this is sick.
Can you imagine being in the face of that and be like, I can't get rid of Coach, can't be first boot. Like, what are you talking? You know what I mean? Like,
so
can't get a this early.
So I think that could be cool about the season. I think that could be really cool.
Yeah, I think that'd be a really interesting dynamic, and it will be interesting to see how that plays about people's history preceding them, and especially new era people as well. Like being of like, oh no, we understand the new era of the game, and these old school players being like, maybe they haven't played for a while, and like, oh, where is that now? How are they going to modify their game from when they played so long ago? I'm really interested to see Aussie in terms of he was just Mr. Fantastic in the challenges, right? Like doing everything. So it'll be interesting to see like all these years on, does his body hold up for that stuff, or are the challenges built in a way that necessarily makes him as strong as he used to be?
Then you look at who some of these younger guys, because obviously the big thing that hits me when you see the promos and stuff, these old school guys are old. Some of them haven't played for 10 years, 15 years, like 20 years or whatever. And they've aged. And so Aussie, the challenge beast, is not going to be the same
not,
Aussie.
Right?
Like surely not. But for me, people that stick out, like I think Coach is hilarious. For me, people that stick out, I think Chrissy. I think an under the radar old school person will have a good path forward, because I think she'll get in with the old school alliance, but I think she's got the skills to create relationships with the new school people as well. And then ultimately she's not going to be the big target when it comes to crunch that's actually going to impact or be the biggest person to go after. So I think she could be in a really interesting spot. And she's shown herself. I think she's one of the record holders for the most challenges won by a woman as well in the season. So and again, it's been a couple of years since then, but I think she's still in a really good spot. And the other one I really like Christian. Like, he's where my heart is at, but I think he's going to get targeted as being like, everyone's going to like him. They're going to go ultimately, but I think he's awesome. I love Christian. But I think Rick Devens. Now, Rick Devens is like mates with Jeff Probst, so that could be, people could be like, oh, I don't know about that. But the way he played Edge of the Extinction, he found idols, he hustled, he did a lot of stuff. I feel like his pace of the game is very new era, and that's what this is going to be like. And I think he's going to be able to merge quite well with a lot of these new players. And he's not going to be seen as like a Sari or a Steven, and he doesn't have as much reverence, but I think he's really fun and he's really engaging, and I think people end up generally liking him. And with some bigger targets around, if he gets further enough in the game, I think he's got the strats that he could actually make it work.
I'm also quite interested to see Aubrey, because I've only seen her first game, but I remember really liking her and thought she played really well. So I'll be really interested to see sort of how she goes as well.
So Aubrey has had diminishing returns. Every season she's done worse. And in her last season, Edge of Extinction, it wasn't a great showing. So this could be her Phoenix
bounce back
moment, her bounce back, baby.
Stephanie as well. I'm kind of fascinated to see Stephanie. Just as like this sort of almost like in the middle of all these great players, right? Like having this devastating season and then coming back and all this kind of, you know what I mean? Like, I think it's really exciting to have someone like her back, because she feels like one of the really good classic, like old school strong women archetypes. So it'll be interesting to see, again, in that same way, the Aussie, like, how does that play now, 10, 15, whatever years it is later?
I think Kyle could do all right, but he's a winner, and everyone knows he's a winner. It'll be interesting to see if Savannah and Rizzo, it comes out that she's a winner. I think people will figure...
they'd have to, right?
People will figure out there's one winner on each season, so they'll go, well, Savannah must be the winner. On each tribe. So I think people will figure that out, so I think she needs to be truthful. But it'll be interesting to see those guys go. I think that will be one
of the most fascinating things, is seeing how the 49 players go, because of that understanding that, I haven't seen this season. They must have done something to get on this season. So what did they do? Like, I think that's always a really interesting dynamic to have these people. Like, because I think, wasn't Russell was like that as well, right? Like,
Russell did back to back. No one knew historically, no one knew Russell coming into Heroes vs Villains, which is why he could play a similar game as he played in.
And that to me is really exciting and interesting when you have that it's just like another angle on the season, right? Like,
exactly.
You've got that existing stuff, and here's another little piece of it. So no, I'm pumped. I'm really excited. It's just like, it's cool to have all these old people, like someone in my position. And I'm really interested, as we sort of saw with Australia versus the world. Like, I'm really interested to see all these these picks for the new era. I'm like, cool, show me what you got. Like, I'm really excited to sort of see them play.
I still think what they should have done, 49 should have been a new era All-Stars, and then 50 should have been, because I feel like it takes another season, unless you do something amazing, to become a legend. And I think you need another showing to be like, this was not a fluke. This is really good.
Yeah.
So it'll be great. So Survivor Debrief will be back.
Survivor Debrief will return.
Yeah, that's right. And we'll be looking at 50, and we'll be looking at Survivor Australia Redemption when that come out, with a friend of the podcast, Mark, will be on that season. We're very excited to be following his journey. So in some form, we'll be doing both those seasons this year, so there'll be a lot of Survivor happening.
We will do our best.
It's going to
be a lot, because again, this is in our spare time, so it's a big effort. So the more you want, like, let us know, guys. Again, share the show with your friends who watch, and hopefully we can grow the show even more.
Let's take it to the next level. But for now, we just thought we'd just put this out there as a little recap. Get to say, see you later, 49 with Josh. And let's bring on Survivor 50 and Survivor Redemption. We'll see you guys very soon. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.
See you, folks. Bye.